Well, today we're going to do a couple things. First, we're going to talk about this 440, and then we're going to go and take a look at the Coronet a little later in the video. But first, let's talk about this. So, this is, for anybody interested in the numbers on the pad, maybe kind of read that, it is a 69 HP 440. This originally, as far as when we got it, of course not originally, but this was in the 1973 Charger that kind of helped start the channel, which is long gone now, but this is the engine that was in the car. This had closed chamber heads, a Edelbrock TM7, I believe, intake, and it's got these new pistons in it that are 30 over, and cylinder walls are very nice. It looks like it's pretty much new. There's really no ring ridge. The only thing you see there is just a shadow from where the ring stops. You can't even feel it. So, very good engine. It looks dirty, it looks crusty, it looks like junk, but I promise you it isn't. And it ran good. So, what we're going to do with this over the next few weeks is how to pull that other head off. That's for a different project. This is one of the heads we're going to use. So, first of all, these are 906 heads. You can see the casting number there. And they are the open chamber heads. These pistons, this is top dead center pretty much on this. It's down a little ways. It's about 60 to 70 thousandths is about how I measured how far down that is. But I'm going to have these heads cut between 30 and 40 thousandths. I've not yet decided. By a buddy of mine that has a machine shop, and he'll be able to do it, and it'll be a nice little process, and it'll help kind of get that compression back to the mid upper nines is what we're shooting for. So, it's not going to be a screamer. It's not going to be the 11 and a half engine that the Super Bee has or anything like that, but it should still be plenty of power. We are looking for a camshaft for this. I'd prefer an older, used or older new in box camshaft. I'd like to limit the risk of a cam getting wiped. So, anybody that has one or looking near the 509 range, between 500 to 525 lift, somewhere right in there. If you have something, email me. My email is in the description of the video. I appreciate anybody that could help us out looking for something like that. But back to the heads. These heads, as you might be able to tell, they've got the bigger valves in them, the 214 181s, and these have been ported out a lot. I mean, get a good view of, just at the bolt holes versus, that's a stock cast head versus these ones which have been heavily ported. So they should flow good. And this, if I can find the right parts, is getting a 6-pack. I have the intake. I need to find carbs. Again, anybody that has carbs, I'm not concerned about date code. I'm not concerned about, numbers on them. I'm just concerned about getting a nice original style set of 6-pack carbs that I can rebuild or have somebody rebuild. I'm not worried about, the coatings being perfect on them. I'm just looking for a set. So anybody, again, emails in the description of the video. I appreciate the help. But that's kind of the plan. I'm going to get this other head off of here, and we're going to drop the oil pan, inspect everything, probably pull a couple of caps, make sure everything's good. But from what I remember of being in the car, it does seem to be pretty good. So I'm not terribly concerned about it, but we'll kind of just play it by ear and see what happens. Real quick, back to the heads, and these were on a 500-inch stroker engine that I know a guy had, and the guy claimed that it made over 600 horsepower. I don't have papers to prove that, but these should be good heads, especially if you cut them down, get a little bit of that compression back. Again, in the mid upper nines is what we're looking at achieving here. So all in all, this should be in the 450 to maybe 475 horsepower range. Again, it depends on cam specs, which have not been determined yet. So we'll just kind of see what happens. And this will be dynoed, and everything will be shown on the channel. So let's kind of shift a little. Why are we doing this? What's it for? What car is this going in? And right now I'll show you a picture of the car it's going in. So that is a 1969 Roadrunner that we just purchased, and I only showed one or two pictures there because that's all I really have right now. That is a Rally Green 69 Roadrunner 4-speed car. Really cool car. As you can see, it's mostly painted. The front clip needs to be painted, and the trunk lid needs a little work. You'll see all kinds of stuff on that car. That's all I have on it right now. That should be coming sometime in the next few weeks. So you have to wait patiently for that, but don't worry, it'll happen. So, but the first step is getting this ready because the engine and transmission assembly is pretty much ready to go in. The front suspension's all rebuilt, and the engine bay's done. The underside of the car is done. Everything that would be in the way of assembling the car is already done. The only thing I need to do beforehand is probably get the brakes installed before I go throwing the engine and transmission assembly in, because I could do it after, but it'll just be more of a hassle. But anyways, that's kind of enough about the car. That's not right now. This is now. So that's the plan. Again, anybody that has a good cam, reach out, let me know. Anybody that has 6-pack carbs, reach out, let me know. You know, I'm not afraid to spend a little bit of money on this. I'm not trying to get anything for free or for dirt cheap or anything like that. I understand parts have value, especially ones like that. So let me know what you guys think of this. This will be maybe, I don't know, within the next few days. I want to get it out. I want to get that other head pulled off and the oil pan pulled off, and I want to get the whole thing degreased and pressure washed. I will not be pulling the pistons or the crank or the rods unless I pull a couple of caps and find an issue. And if that's the case, we will have to just do a re-ring and bearing, or may have to change direction slightly, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of enough of this for now. So let's get to the second part of the video and go check out the Coronet and see what we got going on there. So here we are over at the Coronet, and things look a little bit different. I did a little trick that I saw here on YouTube, and I have mixed feelings about it, but you know, I'm overall reasonably happy with it. You might notice the car has a little bit more of a shine now. And as you can see here, I use that boiled linseed oil and wiped the car down with that after cleaning it up a little bit, and it turned out pretty good. I gotta leave the car out in the sun, let it dry up a little more. It's a little bit tacky, but I think it turned out a little good. There's a couple spots that are a little streaky, but the car still retains its original patina, and you know, it preserves it, and it definitely has a little bit of a shine, as you can see as I kind of back up and kind of walk the light across it. It definitely looks good. And at the Mopars in the Park show, I picked up an RT badge for it because I wanted to. So the car otherwise is basically the same. It's just cleaned up and looks pretty good, I would say, at least. Got the wheels and tires cleaned up a little bit. Got some tire shine on the back tires, well, and the fronts, but you can't really tell on the fronts. And I got the old traction bars to actually look chrome again, so that's just kind of cool. Nice little just kind of detail stuff is all I have yet to do on this car. Got to get some trim back on, a couple little things here and there, but still runs good, still drives around just fine. I have one little fuel issue I might be having, so there might be something to do with that coming up, but other than that, it's just maintenance at this point, you know. And as I, get it on the road and drive it for the first time in many, many years, other things will come up and other things will need repairs. But as for right now, it's, it's as close to done as anything else. So, new door panels, new seats, console is cleaned up, and everything's just working good and functional like it should be. So, the only other things coming up, potentially, I'm not even going to say coming up, but potentially within the next few months, is cleaning up of the engine bay. I have a valve cover leak on the one side, and I just need to do an overall fluids check. Just want to clean up the wiring, clean up, just some miscellaneous little issues, but definitely want to get rid of the AC cooler stuff because, none of that's on here anyways, so it's just an extra, I don't know, 20-30 pounds of nothing on the front end that needs to be there. So just little maintenance things that need to be done, but nothing else really major left on this. It's just been a fun, easy to deal with car. I talked about putting a cam and headers and all this other stuff, and I think it has a small performance cam in it. And everything on it just works so nicely together that I really have a hard time talking myself into changing anything about this. Down the road, yeah, I'd like to, get a better intake and carburetor and this and that, and maybe headers, whatever else. But for now, it's a driver. So that's what I'm going to treat it as. And I just want to swap the valve covers to something a little nicer and fix the valve cover gasket leaks as I do it. So that's, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of it. The old Coronet has treated us well, and I think we've treated it well. So I definitely loved all the attention that it got at Mopars in the Park. Hopefully I saw a few of you guys there, and we'll just kind of see what's next. As if there's any problems that arise, you guys will probably know about it. So that's kind of it for the Coronet. You'll see it on the channel. It'll be around, but it's, on to the next one now, because this one's done, and I'm really happy to say that. I mean, there's, like I said, maintenance things to do, little adjustments, little things that'll come up as driving it, but I'm really happy to say that this car is, in my eyes, done, because I get a lot of healthy support from a lot of you guys, but there's always those few guys that are like, oh, you never get anything done, you never get a project done, all you do is jump around to this, to that, and everything else, you're never going to get anything done. Well, here it is. So I'm going to kind of leave it at that. I appreciate everybody watching. Definitely like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.